Hello everyone, welcome to Legal Darshan. In this video, we are going to discuss Municipal Corporation Ujjain and another versus BVG India Limited and others, which is numbered at 45 in the list of AOR leading cases. Now, before we go to what this case is about, it is basically about judicial review of the court with in administrative actions. Okay, judicial review of court. Okay, so when we study administrative law, we study administrative discretion, and your judicial review cannot be exercised on the merits of an administrative order or an administrative, decision. For example, if my university it is holding out that for sitting in exams, one needs to have 67% attendance or 70% attendance because that is a mandate by Bar Council of India, then court cannot come and intervene saying that we have a power of judicial review and we will go into the merits, because judicial review ensures that merit is untouched. The capability or the you know wisdom of the board of the administrative discretion, it is untouched, but rather we are checking the procedural irregularities if they are occurring any. Okay, so if there is a prima facie violation of article 1421, if there is unreasonableness in the order, if the order is arbitrary, the administrative order is arbitrary, it violates article 14, article 21, there is a malafide traceable in the order, only then judicial review can be invoked and the court may intervene by way of the writs that we study in the constitutional and administrative law. Okay, now what is happening in this case is basically we will look at the facts. So basically the municipal corporation of Ujjain, okay, it releases a notification for inviting bids from the stakeholders, from the parties, for the appointment of an agency to carry out municipal solid waste door to door collection and transportation. Okay, so bids were invited, and to evaluate the bids, now one thing we need to look at, that there is no arbitrary decision coming here. There is a committee that the municipal corporation Ujjain is formulating for analyzing and grading the incoming bids, analyzing as well as grading. So the bids were coming in closed envelope to the committee. These committee were analyzing and also grading the bids that are incoming. And in this process, there is one company, GWMC, which is Global Waste Management Cell Private Limited. It scores the highest points and gets the bids. So there are twofold tests which are happening. One is the technical bid and another is the financial bid, technical element and financial element of the bid. So satisfying these, GWMC scores highest and gets the bid. Now the respondent here in BVG India Limited challenges that the award should not have been given to GWMC but rather him, and there is a suspicion of bias in the act that has been done. Now court, when this case goes before high court, okay, so case goes before high court in writ jurisdiction, article 226, and the single bench, okay, we should understand, single bench allowed this writ petition of BVG India Limited and set aside the contract that was given to GWMC. Now the appeal lies before the Supreme Court, and the court herein is holding that since the decision, okay, now the decision of Municipal Corporation Ujjain, it is arrived by going into technical merits. It is qualitatively being arrived at by technical expert who is also made the respondent in this case, and by technical expertise we are coming at a decision. And especially when when there is an evaluation, there is a point system that is being awarded, there is no evident bias or mala fide, there is no illegality in the order was not manifestly perverse, the order was not containing arbitrariness. There was no irrationality or unreasonableness on the part of the expert body while examining the bids, and the decision was taken keeping in mind the concern regarding public interest and also the work experience of the successful bidder. Now basically what is happening, that the court is also analyzing, okay, the court is analyzing that whether the experience, what is the experience of the person who has made an appeal as well. Okay, so now the BVG Limited, it has come to the court, it has come to the knowledge of the court that the required experience was not reflecting with respondent number one as well. Okay, and respondent number one was not carrying out garbage waste collection of more than 300 empties per day. So basically, it is basically held that he was not even satisfying the conditions herein, and therefore there is no bias, there is no irregularity, or there is no malafide in issuing such order that has been passed by the Municipal Corporation Ujjain while it awarded the bid, while it awarded the contract to the GWMC Private Limited. Okay, now court is basically saying that when you evaluate tenders and you award contract basis on that, it is purely a commercial transaction. And if it is related to public interest, it is a commercial transaction. We need to understand it is a commercial transaction because it is relating with public private division also. Okay, so private entity is coming into picture, and until and unless it is not related with a larger public interest, the courts will not exercise its power of judicial review and interfere in it. Okay, but when but, but when it there is a procedural lapse. Okay, so court can interfere in the matter relating to public interest, but not otherwise. And if there is a procedural lapse, then judicial review can be exercised. Okay, so when procedural lapse does not means going into the merit, going into the examination by the committee that was appointed, but rather going into the procedural lapses, procedural irregularity. So the exercise of the power of judicial review should be avoided if there is no irrationality or there is no arbitrariness in the matters on hand, the matter which appeared before the court. There was no basis of the expert body in action to claim that there is a malafide or there is illegal motive or there is a bias that is operating. There was no such things evident, no such things could be traced out. Okay, and the court is saying that the single bench high court erred in going into the merits of the case, and became the appellate authority over the forum that was exercising the administrative discretion. So when we actually read judicial review, when we teach judicial review, and when we study judicial review, the very first condition of the judicial review is that the court who has the power of doing judicial review, that is the High Court and the Supreme Court, Article 32, Article 226, we know that gives the power of judicial review to the courts. They do not sit as an appellate court, but rather they are the court examining procedural lapses. Okay, so when sitting in judicial review, the court is not conferred with the power of an appellate authority. It does not sit in appeal over the decision that has been arrived at by the administrative body, exercising its own wit and wisdom, and coming to a decision qualitatively. All right, so now this is one thing that this judgment is holding out. Very important that it is judicial review, the limits, four corners of judicial review remains confined, so that there is no unwarranted or unwanted judicial intervention in the commercial matters as well. Now, the main crux of this case goes like that: until and unless there is no procedural lapse, for example, the bias, the arbitrariness, the irrationality, perversity, etc., are not existing, court, and where specific, and now this particular issue involved public interest, but where there is purely no public interest, the court should ordinarily restrain itself from exercising the powers under judicial review. The court should exercise judicial restraint and not go and sit in the appeal over the administrative decisions that comes by virtue of the power of administrative discretion. So this is the case of Municipal Corporation Ujjain and another versus BVG India Limited, listed at number 45 in the list of AOR leading cases. I hope the discussion is useful. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned with Legal Darshan. Have a great day.